theoretically, most of our politicians are Masons.
Okay.
Is that true? Is that not true? Would you guess?
I personally haven't met many politicians in Mason. Maybe like one or two, but
Yeah.
I can't go on the record and say, oh, they're all Masons. I can't.
Sure. No, fair enough. Is there? But understanding that a lot of powerful people throughout history have been Masons or say they're Masons or Masonic lodges. Some of them, depending on where you go on the internet, they'll say we're proud of the fact that some of the people who built this country and some of the leaders of this country have been Masons, and the people that are in Masonry are either good enough human beings to rise to the top, or the system is better at facilitating the rise of Masons. It's one or the other, or something like that.
And I'm glad you said that, because it's two ways of looking. A lot of people think, oh, you're a Mason, therefore you became a politician. I don't subscribe to that. I think you're a politician, and that's why you're a Mason, because you have that drive to learn, to be, to do. And if you have that kind of drive, that's the type of drive that will push you towards being a Mason, or push you towards being a CEO of a company, or push you towards being anything substantial in society. So it's not because you're a Mason, you're something. I'm thinking it's more so because of your character, you're a significant force in society, which leads probably to you being a Mason.
If the principles of Masonry to make people into better men and so on, if they're so good, how come you don't just share them with the general public? Why should only a certain group of people have access to knowledge of how to become a better human being?
All right, very good question. And I'll use today as an example. You know, I see you guys are promoting the Church of Climatology.
Wow.
You know, how many people do we try to tell that, you know, officially since 2005, we've been cooling. People are scared of that kind of knowledge. The media's bombarding them with, oh, we're going to a warming period. Oh, it's getting warm. I'm feeling kind of cold today. I don't know about you guys, even though I have my jacket open. But, you know, people are scared of that. So, just like in Masonry, you can't just go and say, oh, this is what we do, and we're all open about it. And that's part of the thing about Masonry. It's not that we go and get people to be Masons. You know, they find out about us, but they take the first step. They're the ones who say, I want to be a Mason, because it means they're open to accepting that kind of knowledge. You know, I wish it was that easy where we could just give the knowledge to everyone. And by knowledge, I'm not talking about anything scary here, but in terms of even
what is it, self-help? Like what do you guys learn? Like, there's different degrees. You improve yourself, basically, but that seems like that's something that everybody could use.
Absolutely, but you don't even have to be a Mason to make yourself better.
Sure.
But some people use Masonry as a means of doing that from many angles. You know, just like any organization, if you join any organization, it is what you make it. It is what you make it. So if I join a charity and I want to participate and give my time, well, I have a business background. Maybe I'll put my efforts towards that and build it up to be a big charity. But it is what you make it, and some people go in for the fraternity of it, you know, being able to say, hey, this is my brother, even though he's not a Mason, but he's, you know, we're brothers. But
I'm bored with a wife and 2 kids living in Brampton, and I'm just bored out of my skull watching TV, so I want to join a bunch of guys that hang out in secret society. And I understand why people would do it. You know, if you do everything right, you're pretty bored out of your mind. And if there is this giant group of like old boys club to join, I can see why people would be interested.
Yeah, it's not an all boys club. One thing we do shy away is that, you know.
Are there any girls?
Okay, it is an all boys club.
And is it old?
You know, on average, it tends to be old, yeah.
Actually, I've been following the Toronto Truth Seekers message board, and actually one message came out last week that was something strange. It was called the Masonry chip. I'm not sure if you've heard of this.
Yeah,
and they're saying that this could be, the conspiracy world, I guess, is saying that this could lead towards microchips eventually. What do you think about this, Masonry?
They are chipping children. Is that a good idea?
Well, see, it's called the CHIP program, but it's not a chip. It stands for Child.
Why do you call it the CHIP program then?
It's an acronym. I know, it's got the wrong connotation.
Just to mess with us, just to get us going crazy. You're like, I know those guys on the internet, they'll go nuts over this.
Well, that's the thing, you weed up the conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
No, but there's no chips involved. In fact, I'll tell you a little bit about it. So we actually pay for these suitcases. Inside these suitcases, you have a whole kit. It's a laptop, it's the whole ability to take a DNA swab of your child. What you do is you bring a child to take the DNA swab, they create a little video, they ask them questions, and what happens is we create a CD, a little CD, and it's a special format for the Amber Alert. So in case the child gets lost, right away there's no time delayed in terms of trying to find that kind of pertinent information that a police officer would need in finding that child. Now, I could see, I also have a privacy background, I could see why there could be a concern, but the one thing that you have to remember with this program is the second that they're done with that, the information is not stored. We do not store the information. We take that CD and we give it to the parents and we say, here, use this in case. You know, we hope. We don't have a copy.
You don't have a copy of it?
No.
So basically a parent can say, this is my child's DNA information and fingerprint information,
and photos,
so on,
and voice.
And photos.
Yeah.
And if my child ever goes missing, I can fire this off to the police and give them everything they need to know right away.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see why it's selling. I mean, there are some issues, I think, with the privacy and so on, and with the trust in institutions. First of all, I don't trust government institutions with my data.
Neither do
Should I trust a private institution like Freemasonry?
Neither do I. I'm coming from a privacy information security background, and
so can we trust the Masons with our data more than we can trust the government with our data?
Like you said, it's an old organization. We still use pen and paper, so it's not data. It's pieces of paper. You know, that's something I'm trying to change. I want to make it in the foreground. You know, let's use technology.
You guys are the smartest people in society, and you don't use pen and paper. You don't take stupid people in Masonry.
Well,
you take smart people with potential, right?
You take good people.
Which includes good character, but also good intelligence.
Good character is the main one. It doesn't necessarily deal with intelligence.
Okay. Where are the loyalties of Masons? If you decide to join Masonry, which I understand if you decide to join, you know, fine.
Yeah.
Then isn't one of the things you do is to pledge a loyalty to your Freemason brothers above any other loyalties?
We're actually taught loyalties, and the loyalty is first to yourself and your family, above anything else. And you go by the laws of God, and you're also supposed to go by the laws of society. So you cannot break the laws of society, but you know, keeping in mind, if they come to your door wanting to give you the H1 flu shot like we saw, that poster there, you know, if I believe that's wrong, I'm sorry, I'm not letting you into my house and giving it to my family, because that is protecting my family. You know, if it's tyrannical and you recognize it, then sorry, that's not the laws of the land, it's not the laws of natural order or of God, if you will. And there are loyalties to a particular brother, so we are taught that because they are good men. What you want to do is you want to make sure that good men remain out there, and the good men that fight the honest fights.
You think then if Masons are good men, and they're aware of a New World Order system that maybe they're accidentally part of, like we all are, because it's just the system that runs the world, how many Masons do you think would come out and join Toronto Truth Seekers and hand out information warning people about the dangers of climate change and climate change taxes, the dangers of vaccines, 9/11 truth? Do you see Masons as being people who are fighting the New World Order, being good men, and being that the New World Order are eugenicists who are poisoning everything in our culture?
I will tell you that the ones who I find are more aware, and I use the word aware, meaning knowing that H1N1, it wasn't good for you and it was a big sham, knowing that ClimateGate's a big fraud, knowing that there's something fishy with 9/11 and most of the commissioners who wrote that report are questioning it. I find that most of the Masons I know are more aware than the general public. So, you know, if you were to win them over, they would be joining the truth movement, the Toronto 9/11 truth movement.
It is an option for Masons to consider. Basically, it's the idea of fighting the New World Order as Masons, where they can still keep their brotherhood, they can still keep their principles, they can still learn, but they can take on the challenge of fighting the New World Order that's planning to kill off most of the population.
I don't like saying fight a New World Order because that's a big beast on its own. You know, we should pick our battles. Like for me, I'm a nerd. You know, see these glasses, so I'm a little bit concerned about what's happening from the privacy arena. So if there's any way I could. If there's any way I can make some sort of influences towards that, making sure that that is protected and we have rights, you know, then that's my area of expertise. But everyone has their own. So, you know, if there's doctors out there, you know, take a stand. If you know that vaccines are bad for you, say something, do something. You know, you might lose your funding, but you know what? How much is your credibility worth?
I'm with you. I'm with you. And on that note, thank you for being a credible Mason with some credible answers, Raoul.
Good. Thank you for doing your work, and you know, I only hope that if half these people are half as enthusiastic about doing what you do, it will be twice as better. So that's my message.
Well, once we start up Freemasonry hardcore, then you'll see.